Well, hello peeps. So today we're gonna be talking about Demon Hunter in Season 2, all the little changes, all the little new goodies. Obviously we're gonna discuss some builds. Don't quote me on the builds because I'm just testing them right now, and honestly until we get into the honor gear and like the first week of gearing, yeah, I don't feel like I can really like give you like a complete, concrete opinion on the builds, right? We're also gonna talk a little bit about gearing for the more casual player, and obviously one thing that for me feels just missing in this patch when it comes to Demon Hunter. By the way, peeps, a little disclaimer, this is take 2 for me here, and I'm also a little bit sick, so apologies if I'm going a little bit faster than usual. Now, first things first, peeps, we gotta discuss the changes, and let's start with the most notable ones. Cycle of Hatred now works completely differently, right? You're not like consistently spending Fury right casting, or so they say, spending Fury right to activate it. Now you just use I-Beam to get the stack right, and then after getting 4 stacks, you just have a lower cooldown I-Beam, 20-second cooldown I-Beam. It's kind of broken right now where it doesn't really drop off, so once you have this, even in a battleground, even if you die, you still have it like after you're dead, because I don't know, the drop-off seems like it's really long, like you have to be like a minute out of combat or something. It's very generous in that regard, so I must say this is probably gonna be like the talent around which we build just most of our builds. Just makes our demon form accessible a lot sooner. It's also better for PvP to be made this way, even if, let's say, you could have had like a lower cooldown I-Beam than this with 100% uptime. In PvP, obviously, you're not gonna have 100% uptime. If you're getting CC'd a lot, it's like 2-3 CCs on your I-Beam window, it's just not gonna feel as bad, right? Because you're not gonna be waiting that long, right? You're not gonna also then get monkeyed, kited, etc. So just an overall, I would say, better change for PvP. The second biggest change, obviously, we have Screaming Brutality, which was our Season 3 and Season 4 tier set in Dragonflight. The big thing is actually the thing that you don't see here, which is Any Means Necessary, is now basically baked into our entire kit, except for one exception. But yeah, it's basically baked into our kit. We just have Any Means Necessary, and Screaming Brutality is just a bonus. Now, for those who don't know how it works, every time you blade dance, you just throw glaive automatically, and then also those slashes, right, have each slash has like 50% chance to throw glaive for a little bit more extra damage, right? So just a very nice way for those people who don't like to play the throw glaive builds to actually still play the throw glaive builds, right? You can still play the throw glaive without actually like ever pressing that button basically with this. So moving on, I think also a big change is that a Fire Inside now makes your Immolation Aura do chaos damage. So Immolation Aura is just baseline fire right now, and if you don't have the talent into Fire Inside, right, you're obviously not gonna be doing chaos damage with your Immolation Aura. It just makes, I feel like, any build that doesn't have a Fire Inside not really want to invest into these points here. So a build like I was running mainly last patch, it just doesn't work anymore, because you really want that Fire Inside if you want to actually buff this damage here. And so for our final changes in the talent section here, on the Havoc side, Initiative kind of has been redesigned. Obviously these two talents are kind of the same, right? Worked exactly the same, but you have now Exergy, right? It's not Momentum as I think it was called, which now works from the Hunt and Vengeful Retreat, and Inertia still also, it's still the same effect, but it works from the Hunt and Vengeful Retreat, right? About Chaos as well, right? It works from the Hunt and Vengeful Retreat. So it has been a little bit redesigned. It's, I wouldn't say better, but it's definitely something that can now work with multiple talent like ideas, right? You don't have to build this and then go for Fire Inside, because this directly worked with Fire Inside, and then obviously you would go for Immolation or talent. So it just made it so there's like one specific way you build this row here, right? Kind of. Yeah, now you can just build this Initiative side with any kind of build that you want. Before getting into the here talents, let's talk a little bit about Elena's Grasp. I've tried it. I played quite a few BGs with it. Definitely something that you're going to be using in BGs. You're not dropping Fell Eruption for arenas, especially since it's like a 1-minute cooldown as well. Maybe like if you're playing a Soul Shuffle with like a rogue, but otherwise, if you're like playing just normal trees, you're probably not gonna drop this. You're playing 2s, etc. Unfortunately, it's not good enough. It doesn't. It's not a good enough replacement for Fell Eruption. It's a nerfed version, obviously, right? You just have a completely nerfed version, so it doesn't have the same functionality as it did when it was only Vengeance. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish it was better. People also instantly trinket it, so like I think I've gotten like 2 casts off before people just instantly like trinketed it. So like, I don't know, dude. Like, even like picking up a healer priest, I picked up a disco priest, threw him into my team, and the disco just used his feather and just like got away. So like, I don't know which situation you are like picking this up legitimately, seriously. Not as like memeing. For memeing, this is perfect. For memeing, it is very much good. So peeps, here's actually Mika from tomorrow. I decided to rework this part of the video, and you actually didn't get to the video yesterday because of that. And it's the hero's talent section. Now, I originally kind of went full on hard on Eldrachi Reaver because Felskar just gotten some insane buffs, like Burning Blaze is 15% damage. The Demon Surges have just been getting like 20% and like a 40% buff on the PTR. So Demon Surges chunk, your Burning Blades just give you a lot of more consistent, more damage. So it's a very good situation for Felskar right now. And I kind of went hard on Eldrachi, but Eldrachi is not that bad. But definitely Felskar is, I feel like, a little bit better right now. I need to do some arena testing with Eldrachi Reaver, because usually in arena in the Soul Shuffle environment is where Eldrachi Reaver just performs a little bit better than Felskar. And Felskar usually performs better in the Soul RPG and the Battleground environment. So right now, since I've been mostly testing in the Battleground environment, obviously Felskar is gonna feel better for me. I still feel like we can't ignore the fact that Felskar just keeps getting buffed. Like, it's gotten buffed, and Eldrachi Reaver gotten like actually even like nerfed. And like, I think like Wounded Quarian, like Warblade's Hunger was like buffed or something. There's also one big problem for Eldrachi Reaver that I've actually talked in some recent videos, and that's gonna be the fact that we're losing our tier set. The tier set is what makes Eldrachi Reaver feel really good to play in Season 1 here in the War Within. So, and I mean for the people who actually like Eldrachi Reaver, like me, right? Like, a lot of people still don't like Eldrachi Reaver, even with the tier set. So, removing the tier set now in Season 2, I think, yeah, we'll see. We'll see next week when we get like the Honor Gear and stuff, how that's gonna feel. That's definitely the big oof of Eldrachi Reaver. It's not even the fact that Felskar just got a mega giga buffed. It's the fact that we are losing a tier set that really makes Eldrachi Reaver feel enjoyable to play. So one important interaction to actually note between Felskar and Cycle of Hatred is gonna be that Sigil of Mastery actually becomes, I think, a really big pick. You have a constant 20-second cooldown on I-Beam, which is gonna make you basically have Sigil of Flame with the Student of Suffering every other I-Beam. Sorry, let me take it out of this. But you're gonna have it every other I-Beam. And then if you have Sigil of Mastery, you can actually wait 3 seconds and you have Sigil of Flame and Student of Suffering buff on every single I-Beam. I think this could be nice for arenas, especially when you count in improved Sigil of Misery, and then you just have 1 minute cooldown on your Sigil of Misery. Just something to think about. Okay, peeps, I'm gonna give you one big tip for PvP. Get your stuff right now. So any kind of stones that you need, any honor that you have, turn into stones. Buy any stones that you think you're gonna need. Buy any crafting materials that you think you're gonna need. Buy any enchants that you think you're gonna need, because all these are gonna jump in price 100% once the season actually starts and people actually start to gear up. There's no chance, because especially when it comes to the enchants and the gems, because the PvE players as well are gonna be buying those out. So definitely make sure you got your Vicious Bloodstones, that you got your all the other stuff. Obviously, once the season comes, do your PvP quests, get your conquest gear, get your first bits of conquest by doing soul RPGs or playing in arenas, whichever you want. Then you can just try and get 1600 for the token, and yeah, that's gonna be pretty much your first week of gearing. Very simple, very easy. PvP gearing has been standardized at this point pretty much. Okay, peeps, now we get into the builds, and do not quote me on these. I'm gonna tell you right now, do not quote me on these. These are testing builds. It's really hard, I think, right now to test out anything, because we still have the old tier set. We don't have the new honor gear. Yeah, so I don't think right now you should be like taking these, how you say, concretely maybe. But if you have no idea what you want to play and what you want to do, I'm gonna give you some ideas. So this is the first thing that I've been testing out, is the Trogglaive build. Obviously just taking all the Trogglaive talents. We don't have anything into Immolation Aura, because Immolation Aura doesn't really work for us. We have like 1 free point here that you could put in Fel Barrage, but it just does not seem to me like Fel Barrage is worth it for how much worrying you have to do around Fel Barrage, how much pre-thinking Fel Barrage has. It just does not feel worth it to me. It's also, I think, better with some other builds, use some different talents. And yeah, Trogglaive, very basic build, slapped all the freaking talents, entire freaking line here. Alright, then we still have the new Cycle of Hatred, and yeah, got your Essence Break. It's just a classical standard build. Now moving into an initiative build, kind of a testing build here that I've been doing. This is just basically slapping out all the Throwclave talents and slapping them into initiative. It's simply that. If you're gonna play Eldrach River, if you're crazy like that, obviously you need these 2 points, but otherwise I honestly wouldn't, just because I feel like this build feels very good to play. Does have some additional skill required, with kind of tactical retreat being a part of your way you do damage, especially if you take inertia. But otherwise, other than that, it just feels very fun. It's also kind of new, so if you want to try something new, a build that's using all the new talents, this is definitely a build for you. Now, moving into our first variation for a Fire Inside style build. Obviously, we're just taking a Fire Inside through Know Your Enemy, and we still have all the freaking goodies with Blind Fury, Looks Can Kill, and Furious Gaze when it comes to I-Beam. So this is a very good, I think, option. I think this is the build that I've probably played the most, and I probably liked the most. It plays very close to how you've already played with just an addition of a Fire Inside and you having multiple Immolation Auras. Just very close to the playstyle of Felskard that Felskard has already had. Now, I'm not sure if I would be trying out this with Eldrach River. You can't really change the points. You need Soulscard, right? And you need Accelerated Blade to make your Reaver's Glaive actually chunk, and it's usually worth it. So I'm not sure if this build I would really be trying out with Eldrach River, but we'll see. I'll test it out one of these days. Moving into the second variation for the Fire Inside build, and this build drops all the I-Beam talents. Not really all, you still have Furious Gaze, but you drop your I-Beam talents to basically get your initiative side, and this build can do some nasty burst. Even if you don't proc, like five procs of a Fire Inside, 10 procs, it doesn't matter. Like if you have like 2 or 3 Fire Insides when you're bursting with your inertia and your full Felskard kit on your I-Beam, and you have a Sigil Flame also going, yeah, you're just gonna absolutely destroy people. Absolutely just destroy people. Again, not sure if I would be trying to play this with Eldrach River, simply because you would have to sacrifice some very big stuff to actually get into Soulscar and get into Accelerated Blade. Like, you're not gonna get it for free, let's say it like that. Yeah, you're gonna have to sacrifice some stuff, and yeah. Now finally, peeps, let's talk about the thing that is not on this patch, and that's gonna be any survivability tunings. Like, playing right now, I already feel a lot more damaging, so our damage has definitely improved, but our survivability is still really bad, and we're basically still a rogue with no stealth. Nothing has changed around that, and I think until, I don't know, Blizzard just stops this kind of hate train on Demon Hunter and just decides to buff us, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, we're still gonna be really defensively weak. I think a lot of these classes are also, a lot of other classes are also getting buffed, so there's more classes that are doing more damage now, so I think our defensiveness are gonna be even more, our weakness is gonna be even more like visible, right? So we'll see how it's gonna go once people start getting geared, once people start getting a hold of the builds, right? It might be the time like pulling the trigger too early, so I'm not gonna say like, oh my god, buff them right now. But if Demon Hunter after week 1 is still struggling defensive wise, we definitely need a buff finally. But in any case, peeps, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things YouTubers want you to do, and have a nice day.